Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to continue my Fragrance Café series that I started recently. In this series I'm going to talk about topics that are connected with fragrance uh, collecting, fragrance, using fragrance, anything fragrance community, all kind of topics will be covered. Last time I talked about like compliments and um, people in relation with fragrance, like do you wear it for yourself or for others, how does it work. I only touched on it, like I already talked like 20 minutes, but I only just touched the surface of this topic. But today I'm going to talk about actually something different. This time the topic is um, collections. um, my fragrance my drink of choice is a lemonade. If you haven't seen my previous video, I just want to quick disclaimer to put a quick disclaimer that this kind of video format is more spontaneous, more rambling, more chatty, and I would love to hear your opinion about all of these topics that I touch on in the comments below, because I'm genuinely interested. I would like to make this kind of a thought-provoking content, and yes, let's jump in. So, collections. If you are watching my video, you are probably very familiar with the fragrance community. Um, People are making videos about fragrances. They always buy new ones to have new topics to cover. They always try the new thing. They try, things that are not super, popular and known. Like they always try to come up with something new, and therefore they always buy new fragrances. You can see these creators having massive fragrance hauls and in general massive fragrance collections. I'm talking about like 500 bottles or even thousands of bottles. It's insane. Like this is an insanely pricey thing, but at the same time some of these creators got some stuff sent to them, like promotion and sponsorships, but at the same time they probably just they are popular channels, they have the means to actually purchase those bottles, and there is nothing wrong with that. Like when I'm talking about these corrections and stuff, uh, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just trying to show you my take on this whole situation and how I'm handling it in my life. So I started my collection. It's not really a collection. I'm not collecting, but it's easier to say collection because I don't know what other word could I use it for, fragrance repertoire that I have. So last year in around this time I only had 2 or 3 fragrances, so I was really in the beginning. I didn't even know that it's such a huge community, it's such a huge interest for many people, and I never thought that 1 year later I would have, well, right now I think I have 17 bottles and like quite a few samples, but I also used up and sold a few bottles. So I think in the last 1 year I got like 25 bottles maybe, and 22, something like that. But as I said, some of them I sold, some of them I actually used up, and now I'm with like 17 full bottles, and of course many samples too. Well, this is already way more bottles than like an average person would acquire, and to me, like, I don't consider myself a minimalist, but I really like the entire concept of minimalism. What I'm trying to incorporate into my life is just having stuff that I truly love, like with everything. Like, and this is my kind of advice to anyone, like, don't hoard things don't buy, too many clothes. Only buy the ones that you really like, how they look, how they feel, that are, not just trends, but you can wear them for like 10 years or whatever. The same with like furniture or uh, even fragrance. Like at this point, even though I'm very interested in a lot of fragrances, I only go out and purchase the one that I really, really love, and I feel like I will use it for a long time, that I feel close to me. Uh, I'm not in the financial situation to waste money on fragrances that I just don't reach for. And I'm saying it, but at the same time, I have fragrances that I purchased in the past that I don't really reach for. And it's like a learning process to know that what's worth it, what's not worth it, you know, what's the best deal. It's usually online, you can find much better deals than in real life stores. It's kind of, you have to learn it all as you go. And yes, for some reason, I get super anxious when I have too many of anything. Like if I have too many clothes to wear, like I don't need more clothes, because I often find myself seeing a piece of clothing that I didn't even wear in months. Like, and I don't even have too many clothes. Like, I think I have a normal amount, and sometimes it just feels too much because I just don't really use some of them. I only use my favorites. The same with fragrance. Like, going through a 100 ml bottle is, even if you overspray, it's like it will last you for 100 days, roughly. I'm not sure, but around 100 days for 100 ml. And if you have like even just 10 bottles, that will last you for 3 years basically. So I'm definitely going into more of the smaller sizes. Like when I buy new fragrances, I usually go for 50 or 30 ml, unless I love it so much that I know that I will run out and I will go and purchase again. Because if that's the case, then yeah, it's definitely a better deal to buy the big one. It's more sustainable too. Uh, and with sustainability, we come to the next talking point. Um, I I'm kind of anxious about being wasteful. Like uh, I'm nowhere near perfect in my life. Like I buy things that food and stuff that's packaged, and I'm not perfect, but I try to do better, to just be more green, more sustainable. I try to recycle everything I can. I buy almost like 90% of my clothes I buy secondhand, which is a great way to um, save energy and also your money, because secondhand clothes are usually cheaper. And what else? I usually just walk everywhere in the city. Like I don't really take the bus. Um, I don't drive. Um, well, small things that I try to incorporate to my life. But when it comes to a hobby that uh, includes some sort of collecting, you kind of get this. If you are like this environmentally anxious type of person like me and many people nowadays, you can get this sense of wastefulness, because I don't know, I get anxious when I can't use something that I own. Then I feel like it's wasted energy, it's wasted product, it's wasted material, and I don't know, it just gives me anxiety. Like even now I have like 17 bottles. I sometimes feel like it's too much. Like I sometimes find a fragrance that they all sit on my shelf, but I just know that I don't reach for that fragrance, and like I wore it like 2 months ago, and it just feels bad to me. I don't know, like I know that many people don't have this issue, and that's okay, everybody's different. But me personally, I can't. Even if I had, like, one thing is, I don't have the money to buy many fragrances. Like that's one of the reasons that I try to keep it a small collection. But at the same time, even if I had the money, I know I wouldn't buy. mm, I think I would have the same lifestyle that I have now. Like I just don't need more, you know, like after a point you just have so much fragrances that they just last forever. Like you will almost, I I I think I calculated it will be 4 years to use up everything I own now. But I know that there will be more fragrances I will buy, and these 4 years will be 5 years and 6 years and stuff. So of course it's a nice hobby. Like you collect these things because you love how they smell, you like them, and there is nothing wrong with that. Like I'm sure that there are much more wasteful and unsustainable hobbies out there, but still, you know, you have to consider your, you know, footprint that you leave behind. So that's just definitely a concern of mine, and even bigger than that, like there's this environmental aspect of it, but also as I said with my clothes, like I get anxious when I have stuff that I don't use. Like it's just annoying. It's like this cluttery feeling that it's too much. It's it's unpleasant to have stuff lying around that you don't actually use. So yes, my advice is definitely try to only own things that you love. And another, like I know with fragrance community, it's not the creator's fault, but basically when you see new content about new fragrance, they always present it in a way that you are so curious, you get so interested, and you want to own it, and you want to have this and this and this. You want a wide range of fragrances, all kind of types, all kind of, you know, scent profiles, all kind of brands and stuff, and it's just kind of makes you want more and more and more. This is the fragrance community. It's kind of like free advertisement advertisement for fragrances, and it's definitely very tempting to go and have more and more and more. But my advice is, if you have the craving for something new fragrance, don't go and buy 100 ml, because if you are like me, I mean, if you truly love it, go and buy it. But sometimes what I realize in fragrance community, people don't want, you know, 100 ml. They don't want the quantity. They just want variety, you know? Like sometimes I order like 10 fragrance samples. They are like 1 or 2 ml, and that means that's 10 different fragrances that I can try and test and wear. And even if it's just 2 ml, it will last you quite a long time actually. Like you can wear it, depending how strong it is, for 3 or 4 days. But if you have a bigger collection, you don't even realize that you wear it like in the 6th of September, and then you wear the other fragrances, and then you find the sample again and you can wear it in October once too. Like it will last you a long time, and you get variety, it's cheap, it's not that wasteful, even though the sample plastic little things or glass little things are a little bit wasteful if you think about it. But financially it's definitely better, and you get the variety, and if you really love a fragrance, you can just go and buy it full size. Also, a thing that I realized is, in my collection there are fragrances that serve the same purpose. Like if two scent profiles are not even same or similar, but you always reach for them in the similar weather, similar occasion, it's a kind of similar scent direction. My example that I always say is Versace the Dreamer and Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. They are not same. They are actually quite different, but I just always use them in the same kind of weather, in the same kind of situation, for the same outfits. Like honestly, I love both of them. They are different, but I would like to own both of them, but I don't necessarily need them at the same time. Like I could just use Versace the Dreamer, and when I run out of it, I will go and buy Csapagatyi because that means that there is always something that's in your collection that serves the same purpose, but you don't need to, just collect all these same kind of vibe fragrances that you just never go through them because you suddenly have 200 mls of the same purpose of fragrance. You know what I mean? And yes, that's definitely, especially with like, I'm talking very critically about my collection, but my collection is relatively super small compared to some of the other creators, and I'm not saying that they are doing bad or anything because it's very personal. It's just your preference, what you do, what you collect, what you do with your money. It's your money. Um, Maybe if I was in different, like I have a small channel, I don't have the pressure to go out and always make new content with new fragrances, but I can understand how you make content, you get more subscribers, you get more money, you can put that money back and buy new fragrance, you can make more content, you get more, so it's like a job basically, and at the same time it's a passion for them. I know that they are passionate about it, they are not just doing it for the money obviously, but still it's always like they get new hauls, they get new fragrances, and then they declutter them like a few weeks later. And of course I understand why, because they have so many fragrances, they just don't need that. If they have similar fragrances, if it's not super nice quality or not very good projection or something like that, they just declutter it and sell it to someone who will actually use it. And that's actually a nice way to do it, because you don't they will just collect dust on the shelf. Like in some collections they have hundreds of fragrances, so they could just have one fragrance for every single different fragrance for every single day of the year, and you can't use everything you love. You can't, or you will just use the one that you love and the other ones are just sitting there, or you use always different, but then you don't get the time to go back to the ones that you love, that you really really love. So it's definitely kind of I don't want to say problematic, but it has its kind of negative sides to it. And I also feel like some people just tends to do it for the sake of collecting. Like I personally don't want to lose that kind of rush that I felt in the beginning when I bought a new fragrance and I was so excited and happy, and I don't want to lose that kind of experience, because I have so many and I get used to it, that I always have, and I don't want to lose that kind of excitement about buying something, because it's not special anymore if you always buy like daily. Like some of these people, I'm not trying to judge on them, I really don't, but they release videos almost every day about new fragrances, and that's just crazy. Like, I mean, I love to watch them, the thing is that they are super nice, good creators, their content is super enjoyable, I love watching them, it's relaxing, their personality is great and everything. But if you think about it, owning these so many fragrances is just, it's crazy. Like, it's actually crazy. But you do you. These are just my opinions. But the thing is that in 1 year I acquired around 20 bottles, which is a lot, and I don't know if I will have 20 bottles every single year. Probably no. It was only in the beginning where I went so fast, but I can't even think about Like I'm not super young. I'm 22, and like I have a lifetime to try new fragrances and everything, and I'm low-key scared that I will just get crazy like these people and buy so many fragrances, because there are so many good fragrances out there, and I don't know. But I guess my environmental and just, cluttery anxiety thing won't let me do that. Or even if I do, I will just declutter stuff. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing to think about. It's like almost like a self exploration. Like, how are you with material things? How are you connected with all kind of consumerism? Like it's definitely just like every kind of fashion and stuff like that. Electronic devices. It's always there is something greedy in the background, which is not even the person's fault. I think it's just the system that we live in. This consumerism that always shows you something new and shiny that is better than the previous one that you own, and you want it to, and then another one and another one, and well, I don't mean to solve all these problems, even if I could in this video, because this is just about fragrance collections, and I know it's not that serious and not that dark that I try to make it in this video, and I don't try to actually, because it's fun. It's just a fun activity. I feel like it's for many people who work hard. It's just a little reward for them, a little gift to yourself to buy fragrances, and it's just a relatively innocent activity. Like I always like fragrance community because I feel like this is just so innocent to literally talk about scents, and that's it. Like there is nothing behind it that's like, okay, there is like the compliment getters and I don't know, panty dropper lists and stuff that's kind of untasteful, but in general it's kind of an innocent hobby, and I feel like many people just like most people just really, even if they are like they are a little bit like not greedy, but like I want it, I want it, I want it. That's also kind of understandable, because it's like so many options to choose from, and I'm not trying to judge too hard, because I'm the same. I'm literally the same. I'm just in a smaller way. Like I don't collect hundreds of bottles, but I still do it. But yeah, there's definitely the thing that there are only so many weeks of the month and month of the year and days of the week when you can wear fragrance, and sometimes I almost get impatient, because I can see my bottles that they're almost still full, and I'm using them for a year now, and they are almost still completely full. And when you have so many fragrances, it feels like you will never get through them. And to me, that's a little bit, I don't know. I don't even know how to say this feeling, but it gives me, I mean, it's a good thing to begin with. Like you have a nice fragrance and you have so many occasions to wear it because your bottle is full. But at the same time, you kind of want to try new things and stuff. So I guess this is where sampling comes in, because you don't have to commit to a full bottle, but at the same time you can try new things. So yeah, now that I'm at the end of this video, I kind of feel like I talked about a lot of things in a negative way, but I really didn't mean to. But I feel like if you are honest to yourself, these are, as a creator or as a watcher, as a subscriber. These are all things that kind of come to mind when watching these massive hauls and collections. Like, I really don't I can't tell anyone what to do with their money, with their time, with their, it's all super personal and it's none of my business. And as I said, I'm the same. Like, I do this also, all these things that I talked about. The only thing that's stopping me is this kind of anxiety to have too many things, because I try to stay minimalist and not over consume. But yeah, uh, I think I have nothing else to say right now. I just want to know your opinion, because um, when I show my friends a video of a fragrance creator who has a massive collection, they are always like, "That's crazy! Like, what do they do with this fragrance? They can't even wear it and stuff." Like, I know that all of you have the same thoughts, and I do too. Like, I can't even imagine how it feels like to choose from all of those nice fragrances. Like, they are all nice, they are all enjoyable, and how do you choose every day? Like, I would always feel like I'm missing out on the other one if I choose this one, you know? So that's what I try to say about having purposes in fragrance, and uh, this way it's easier to choose for the certain weather, the certain occasion, the people around, you know, will there people be close to you, or is it like outside or inside? Like, if you have for every kind of scenario one fragrance or like two, that's, I think that's reasonable. Like, you have variety, you can choose from them. But I can't even imagine like girls who, like female reviewers who have all these kind of similar sweet, you know, gourmand or floral fragrances. Like, how do you even choose every day? Like, that's insane, because they are so similar. Like, when I go to a shop and test fragrances, some of them are I mean female fragrances but also male fragrances, but they get so similar. Like, you really don't need all of them in your collection. Just choose your favorite and go with it. But that's just me, that's just my opinion. And who knows, maybe 10 years or 5 years from now I'm gonna be a crazy collector and I will have hundreds of bottles. I hope not. I really hope I don't get there, because uh, well, I will be a little bit ashamed. Not like there is anything shameful about it, but just after the things that I said, my younger self said about sustainability and stuff. Yeah. So I think that's all. Please let me know about your opinion, and subscribe to my channel. I usually do fragrance reviews, lists, seasonal lineups, tag videos, unboxing, first impression, sampling, all kind of fragrance related stuff. I think that's all. Please definitely let me know about your opinion. Reflect on the things that I said, and yeah, see you next time. Thanks for watching.